Welcome back to that side of TikTok. Okay, so Steph from The Resilient, Jenkins just dropped a subscriber. Only video talking about choosing peace, moving in silence, and stepping away from drama. But baby, TikTok is still side eyeing. Hard. We're gonna break down what she said, what she didn't say, and yes, we need to discuss how many times. She said the word like because I swear it became a main character.
I wanted to get up here and just kind of like, I don't know, touch base on like my opinion on the topic and kind of just tell y'all that you really won't be hearing much from me because I just choose peace. And the thing is, I feel like a few people in this situation have like made it their mission to have an issue with me, regardless of how much it would benefit the child, for us to put our differences aside and just kind of like try to be cordial, if that's how you say that. And whatever, that's not, I can't make it somebody else choose that. I can hope and pray and just like do my part by just keeping my mouth shut and not creating any drama myself. And that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, as far as like me being disappointed with how things went, like why would I be? That's how I more or less assumed it was going to go. So like you kind of have to be uneducated to not know that's how it was going to go down, because currently she has better means to provide for the kid, and usually the courts favor in the mother. So yeah, I didn't really expect it any different, and I wouldn't have, I don't know why people think I would want it any different either, because like that is his blood mother. She birthed him, and I'm not trying to come in between that. I was just trying to continue to be a part of the child's life, and so why would I complain? I have nothing, you know what I mean? I have nothing. Like I said, I'm just really trying to choose peace, guys, going forward. And that's kind of also why I've just been not as active on the apps, and like seems like every time I just try to like get up here and speak what's on my mind, I find myself being thrown off by somebody else's opinion of me or problem with me, and it's like, yo, that's their problem, and it's not mine. Like obviously, like if I did something, if I did someone wrong, like that's on me to fix. But as far as like someone continually having an issue with me that I'm like trying to mend and like trying to fix things for everybody involved in the situation, it's like I can only do so much. And people in general, like, you've made up your mind about me, okay, what's that got to do with me? Not shit. I'm gonna continue doing my daily life. Like, y'all have actually no idea how busy I stay every day, and like the lack of respect towards me being a mom who does deal with two kids who have, I don't like to call it disabilities, because I don't see my kids as hindrance. Like people just make it sound like kids who have, like one doctor I was speaking to the other day regarding my son's autism said, are any of your other kids not normal? And I was like, why did you have to word it like that? Like my son having his autistic diagnosis doesn't make him not normal. It just bothers me when people like approach it like that. And like also my daughter having epilepsy, like there's like not any kind of respect. Well, there is to some, yeah, but there's just the general consensus is like, well, why don't you get a job and why don't you? Well, okay, there's plenty of moms who choose to stay home with their kids when they have struggles like this, to make sure that they can just be the most support that they can for their kids. Like, I don't currently feel better or be better support for them in their situation than I am. God gave them to me because he entrusted me to be the best that they need, and I'm doing the best that I can. I feel like I'm so exhausted trying to explain myself to everybody, and then they're just like, we don't want to hear you, Stephanie. We don't care, Stephanie. And it's like, okay, so yeah. Silence is just so much more healing and peaceful when you don't even get listened to as it is. You know what I'm saying? I want to share progress with you guys. I want to share, some of the things that Drew and I have been like discussing as far as what our next steps are. And it's like, yeah, no, because I don't know. I want to move in silence and then just progress it and do my best to just keep up with the people that are supportive. I really do try. I should really screen record it for y'all sometime and show y'all, because like people be like, why can't you just engage with the positive comments? And yet the other day I was like, let me go ahead and try. People are so unfiltered and they just don't care. Behind the screen, of course, they never say that to your face.
All right, so Steph basically comes on, saying she's choosing peace and she's tired of explaining herself. She says people already made up their minds about her, and she's just gonna focus on her daily life. Now listen, the energy felt less like tea spilling and more like emotional, venting, which, fair. But when you're on TikTok, silence isn't always silent. If you're still talking around the situation, she talks about parenting struggles, mentioning autism and epilepsy, and feeling like people don't understand her reality as a mom. And honestly, that part felt genuine. Nobody is denying parenting challenges, but TikTok tends to separate sympathy from accountability, and that's where viewers are getting stuck. She also mentions expecting certain outcomes and not being surprised by decisions, which some people might. Here is realistic, but others might. Here as slightly dismissive. Another big theme was feeling unheard, like people don't listen to her anyway. And I'm not gonna lie, Mox, that frustration came through strong. Now, hold on, because we need to. Pause for the like counter. How many times did she say like? I'm serious. Like was working over time. At one point, I felt like it needed its own TikTok account. She says she wants silence and peace, but then still drops subtle comments about people having issues with her. And you know how TikTok works. Saying you're done with drama while still talking about it keeps the drama alive. She also talks about people telling her to focus on positive comments, but says negativity still hits emotionally, which honestly is probably the most relatable part. Overall, the video felt more like emotional exhaustion than accountability or clarity. And here's the truth. Choosing peace doesn't automatically reset public opinion. TikTok remembers everything. Do you think Steph is genuinely choosing peace or avoiding the bigger conversation? Did the video feel honest and emotional, or more like quiet damage control? Can creators really ignore negativity, or is that unrealistic? Does moving in silence actually work on TikTok or make people more curious? And be honest, did you notice how many times she said like too? But I want to know what you think. Is Steph genuinely protecting her peace, or is this quiet damage control? Drop your thoughts below, respectfully. And let's talk about it.